Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a beginning of the month for March Tarot Oracle reading. And Leo, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Leo, we still all have a little bit of Leo in us somewhere. If you have your birth chart, which house is Leo in? That is where this energy shows up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. So keeping in mind this is a general collective reading, take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading. If you're watching this at this time, the time is perfect for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this video, what was going on in your life back then, it could give you further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Page of Cups. So I'm just going to explain that the first 2/3 of this reading are the tale being told through tarot, and then I will be clarifying for those of you who want further clarification with my oracle tales from the vector. The Page of Cups is representing the underlying energy for this entire reading. The Page of Cups is talking about love. And where was all this love when I was doing my Valentine's Day readings? But in any case, this Page of Cups is focused on this cup with this fish in it. He's aware there's plenty of fish in the sea, but having said that, he's very focused on this particular fish. And so the pages used to work for the king and queen in the court, and they would generally come from the families in the surrounding area that were higher society and work, as apprentices, and they would deliver messages back and forth and also carry out small tasks. And then when they got older, when they were 21, if they could afford a horse, they would be considered for knighthood. And this card represents communication coming in about love. This could be, a lot of times it's romantic love, but it also could be the energy of love that you have for people other than your romantic partner and things that you love to do and love to be. This communication could be likely coming in, it could come in person, but it's more likely possibly that it will come in as a letter in the mail, or it could be a phone call, a text message. It could be something you see on social media, get messaged on social media, or go to an event posted there and meet someone then in person. It could be something you see on the news that inspires you to do that. This also can represent online dating, and that someone wants to maybe ask you out on a date. All right, and that's my cat, Stella. Well, she just smelled the fresh chicken I put down for her, and she's like, okay, I quit. Her job is to sit on my lap and purr, but she's deserted us here for chicken. So the King of Cups is sitting on their throne, and so this is probably a message that the King of Cups is sent in. This is internal forces. The underlying energy for the internal forces. The internal forces are what you have control over, and you can tell that they're internal because the questions you're asking are, what if this happens? What if they do that and then that happens? What if this? What if that? Woulda, shoulda, couldas. And that can keep you in a thinking loop for a long time. And so the King of Cups isn't like that. He's sitting out in the middle of this chaotic water here. And this is talking about volatile emotions in the tarot and also chaos. He's sitting there, he's in the eye of the storm. He's just patiently waiting for the right opportunity to deliver his cup. He recognizes now is not the time. And when it is time, look, he already has his right foot forward and he's ready to get up in a moment's notice. So the King of Cups is the most emotionally available of all of the kings. He is emotionally available because he has learned how to master his emotions and have them work for him rather than against him. We have, this card's been coming up in these readings a lot, I think in every reading. This is the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords can represent cutthroat energy, like wanting to win no matter what, at all costs kind of energy. Even the sky is jagged, like it's been ripped with swords. The swords represent your thinking, your you know, how you process your thinking through the verbal word or through written word, and also the energy of, you know, do you have a disciplined mind, or does your mind run away from you kind of energy, your mental intelligence as well. This can represent, okay, this person has had 3 battles with other people, but it also can represent 3 versions of himself, and as he manages to discipline his mind, he becomes a better version of himself and is more likely to win without having to be cutthroat. The subconscious mind is your mind that is developed by the time you're about 6 or 7 from when you're born. And your subconscious mind, really, when you think about it, you can't remember very much from that time, but it is heavily imprinted on you because babies are like sponges. So your environment really sort of it forms that mind, and so it's a lot about how you learn to love and how you learn to approach money and that kind of energy. So the subconscious mind is actually the thoughts of other people, but when we get triggered, it quite often is the first one that's there. It's always with us, and yet it can be very inaccurate as to our authentic desires. Then we have the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind is talking about your soul's desires. So people will quite often say, oh, I'm a human being with a soul, but it's more accurate to say that you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle for navigating through the planet Earth at this time. And the conscious mind is what you have a handle on. This is what you have. Stella, be careful, you're knocking the camera. I apologize. She's kind of been a pain in the butt all day. Okay, you have to lie down and be a good girl, okay? Be a nice girl. Do your job and purr. Yeah, you're purring now. Good girl. Thank you for listening. Be a good girl. Okay, so this is talking about the energy of bringing all the 3 of these minds together and then plugging them into your heart's desires, and then you will reach your authentic desires, what really is of value to you, the real you, not the one people think you should be or are. Now this is talking about really wanting to get out of these choppy waters, and so this King of Cups energy is representing your internal forces. So you're able to control your emotions in that, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to get out of this. I want some calm in my life. I want to move off to calmer waters. This quite often represents, and I want to get out of this thinking loop that I'm in. I want to use more my intuition and just be free of this what if energy. And this is talking about digging deep. This conveyor has to dig deep to push off. And this sometimes can represent, this figure here with a small child can represent you healing your inner child energy and moving off to calmer waters with God, doing some meditation, prayer, going inward to get the answers, turning your mind off, that kind of energy, and bringing these 2 energies together so that they're of one mind. The swords are always double-edged swords anyway, so you want to make sure that and there may have been definitely a tower moment. So the tower, a lot of times people kind of freak out when they see the tower, but the tower really is a gift in many ways because it represents people that have been not looking at reality, having to now look at it, and before it's way too late, right? It already has gone way too far, whatever has happened here. And so this energy is talking, there's one person falling out here that's like shocked. And then the other one is like, I was wondering when this was going to happen, kind of energy. So this is like the universe is speaking to you and trying to get your attention to use your intuition instead of staying in this loop. And, at first it's a whisper like, hey, you might want to take a look at that, but you don't hear. So then the universe takes a frying pan out, whacks you over the head and says, there, can you hear me now? And you're like, ow, that hurt. But not enough, because you say, I'll take care of it next week. I'm too busy now, but I will take care of it next week, but you don't. And then what happens is the 2x4 comes out. And when that doesn't do it, well, then the lightning has to strike. And so this tower is like a reality check. Like, you need to take a look at this. Like, you've left it too far now, and now it's grown into a monumental problem that is not that easy to fix. It's going to require, you know, and it's very uncomfortable. And generally towers hit at the least, like at the worst moment. That's just the way it is, because it's like, oh man, I should have taken care of that kind of energy. And then we have the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is talking about an energy here, again, with cutting through the bullshit. The King of Swords is known as a master of whatever profession he's in. So generally, the profession that the King of Swords is in would be something that uses his brain, like his power of his mind, and being able to really you know, be in a position, like it would be someone that uses words to earn his living. He understands very well that words can be weapons, and they can also elevate. That also that words, you know, talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. If you're not a man of your word, then your words mean nothing, basically. And so this quite often represents the professions that are white collar, like more like lawyers. And if it's a lawyer, it would be someone that is, you know, a partner in the law firm for sure, like someone higher up, a head prosecutor. This could represent judges, ministers, you know, in the Senate, politicians that use their words, you know, and if it's a politician, it's someone that's high up. This could be a prime minister, a president, or an actual king energy. And this energy is also scientists, like researchers. It can also be like the energy of entertainers that use their words to entertain, you know, influencers, that kind of energy. So this is, and quite often, this will represent the severing of a couple. And we see these two birds in the background representing that. So it's quite often this could be a divorce lawyer. If this energy here is what's bothering you right now, we don't know yet. But there is a passion for new discovery coming in. This is talking about that action. So perhaps you've hired a lawyer for some situation. Oh, by the way, this can also represent a surgeon. But perhaps you've hired some sort of a lawyer, and they've come to some sort of information about your lover, or you've hired a private eye or something, and now that you have the information coming in, you have a passion for new discovery. It's a gift from the universe that you are passionate again about what you're doing. And this is talking about walking away. So this person is walking away from 8 cups. And there's only 10 cups in the tarot. So 8 cups is a significant amount of time and energy. It could represent 8 years. And this is talking like we had a new moon on the 17th. That was in the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius energy is talking about the group. It's opposed by Leo, and because Leo is across the wheel, and Leo is more about, okay, I'm a leader, so I need to stand out, and then I'll address the group. So it's kind of the individual's needs as opposed to the needs of the whole. And then on that same day, we had the year of the fiery horse energy come in the Chinese New Year. And that way we were in the energy of the snake, and now we're in the energy of the fiery horse on the same day. And also on that same day, there was a solar eclipse. And that solar eclipse, that energy of the eclipse makes you kind of like magnifies one area of your life that's the weakest, that you really need to work on. And in this case, it looks like it's something to do with this cup of love. And this energy is walking away from these cups. And what we see here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups. And then we have 2 and 1 to the side in the space here. And this quite often can represent that there is a third party involvement here. And that could be what you're so distraught about. And that's why one of you was surprised when the tower hit and the other wasn't. So this sometimes can represent having things in order and then putting 2 more cups, going for the other 2 cups to bring back. But more often than not, it's talking about that. Also, the full moon and the new moon are presented on this card. And so we started, this was the very first eclipse on the 17th. The solar eclipse is when the moon is blocking out the sun for a short period of time. And then on March 3rd, we're going to have a lunar eclipse. So the sun will be the dominant feature there. And that one is going to be in Virgo, and the opposing energy is Pisces. And so the Piscean energy is more idealistic and give people another chance. And, oh, if I just, it's always worked for me this way, let's do it this way again. It'll work out, being optimistic and kind of dreamy. And the Virgo energy is get your ducks in a row here. Like, you need to get your shift together, and it's really about a real focus more on your domestic life so that everything's in order, your paperwork is done, it's income tax season, get it done, so that when the opportunities come up, that you will be able to just, be ready for them. That's kind of energy. And Virgo is like, let's get this cleaned up. Cleanliness is next to godliness. And the energy is also analytical critique and like really making sure that, okay, did you get this? Did you do that? That kind of energy. And this is really a powerful time to really reflect on the past and learn your lessons. That's what this eclipse really wants. Between like there's a 2-week period here between the 2 of them, basically. And this is important because at the same time on January 26th, there was Neptune moved into the sign of Aries from the sign of Pisces. And Neptune rules Pisces energy. So Pisces is really predominant here. So people who are Piscean and people who are Virgos are really going to feel this energy of the second one. And this last moon, Leos and Aquarius are really feeling it. And so this energy of Neptune moving into the sign of Aries is, it's been in Pisces for 14 years, and Neptune's a big planet. And so all that idealism is now being put into a totally different energy. The Aries energy is ruled by Mars. It's aggressive and get shift done kind of energy. It's masculine energy. And it's kind of like, everything that you learned how to do for the last 14 years, it's not going to work the same anymore. You're going to have to change the way you approach things. You can't just count on, it'll work out because it always worked out in the past, because now we're in a very new energy. You think about a newborn baby, and for the next 14 years, that baby's going to be in the energy of Aries, and that baby's going to grow up from being a helpless newborn to being a wild teenager, that kind of energy. So that's the energy that you're dealing with. And then on top of that, Saturn, which rules the energy of Capricorn and also temptation, is very, very, is moved into Mars or into Aries with Neptune. So now they're there together and they're both like really extreme energies. And then the Saturn energy is going to be with Neptune in Aries energy for 2.5 years now. And so this is going to be like, we have to get our shift together. We have to be responsible. We have to do we're going to have to, the things that used to work in the past aren't going to work in the future. Like the energy of how you did business, the old boys club, that's gone. This energy, and we're seeing that played out right now in the world events. And so this is new. And so if you're walking away from a relationship that has been, there's been some sort of bullshit in it, this is the time to do it. We also have Mercury going into retrograde on the 26th of February until the 20th of March. So this is a perfect time for you to review the past and do a lot of meditating, get organized like Virgo wants you to, and really get ready for like the new coming in, and it's going to be awesome. Like it's going to be new. So you don't have to fix the old problems so much as you have to change the way you do things, and that will empower them to be fixed. It's kind of that energy. This is where you are for your identity and self-image. Is I feel like you're getting control of your mind. That's what you're working on right now. Disciplining your mind so that you have the freedom to move forward. Good work, Leo. And then this is talking about how you feel about your abundance. And it's kind of like, you know that you're an abundant person and that you have that ability to do it, but you have to dig deep right now and deal with this control of your mind, because it's just saying that whatever was going on here has become like a major problem now. And it's been like it needed to be nipped in the bud, and okay, that's not a good idea. This is talking about a bad idea gone bad. And now the bull shift is being cut through, and it's going to be exposed. You know, we're seeing that right now. A lot of people thought, like when the files that are out there dropped, that, oh, you know, there's not going to be any justice. But we're seeing for the first time, this is a good example, that for the first time in like almost 400 years, think about that, 400 years ago was the last time that someone from the monarchy was actually arrested, and we had that happen 2 days ago. And so that's the kind of, like, any of the bullshit is being exposed right now, and so that we can move into this new energy. And then we have here your emotional foundation. So you might have come from a professional family, and you know, had high expectations education-wise, etc., and a certain way to do things, that kind of energy. Like, and I'm also getting kind of like a public image where, you know, your parents want, you know, don't embarrass us. It's that kind of energy. And then we have creativity, romance, and children. And so you're going to have a new passion for that. So that could represent, you know, a lot of times people will stay in a relationship because they have children. But it's really not doing them a favor if this energy is like you're in battle all the time with your partner, if you do have one. And the one thing about the King of Cups is he's the most loving, most emotionally available, stable in relationships. But when the King of Cups is betrayed and he walks away, he walks away. Done. Doesn't have any room for betrayal. That, like, he's the most likely of anyone. If he's betrayed by his lover or the people he loves, it's no problem for that king to just say, see ya, I'm done. And then look for their true soulmate. That's what's coming in. So this is the external forces. The external forces are when you're, instead of laying in bed and saying, what if, it's the energy is what the EF, what the EF happened here. Like, seriously, this is unexpected. But the external forces you can't control. You can control your response or your reaction to the energy, like the King of Cups does. Or you can, you know, fly off the handle and then, you know, tweet all over the place and be very embarrassed the next day. This is talking about the external forces coming in. The energy, this is a lot of money here. This is talking about, you know, the energy of the 369. That if you've ever heard of Nikola Tesla, the genius, he often would say, if you knew the beauty of the 369, which is a ratio, you would have the key to the universe. And this is talking about this falcon that this woman is holding, is representing foresight, like being able to see, you know, the big picture. She always keeps 6 pentacles on her hand, under her. Like, she knows, she's learned through probably trial and error. Now she understands it very well. The give and take of life, of the pentacles. Yes, they do represent coin, but you could have all the coin in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want. And so she is saying, I'm going to keep my hand on this 6 of coins for my own, to run my home, to make sure that I can pay my bills, to make sure that I have a cushion, all of that energy. And then these three now are behind me here. Those are the ones that I'm willing to maybe put into a more risky investment and donate to charity, and also maybe empower my family members if they need some of my time, my energy, or my money. And this is about learning that, and sometimes the hard way. This is your position of your marriage, your partner, your commitments. So you're walking away, and the external force is here, someone coming in that's a soulmate, which is pretty amazing. This is a soul contact. This is going to please your soul. And quite often people ignore the needs of their soul, and they're more focused on the material. And the soul will finally just like really rear up and be like, I need to be heard. That kind of energy. So this is a contract for these two people to meet. And it is actually, this symbol is, the Hermes symbol is about communication, about Mercury energy. And so this energy is talking about them coming together at the perfect time when the communication is perfect. And if a lot of people talk about the energy of Mercury retrograde, like it's not good to do business then, it's not good to do that. Well, that's 3 weeks, that's a long time. It is a really good time to make plans. It's a really good time to communicate within yourself so that you could meet your soulmate, you know, that kind of energy. This is pre-Empress energy. Empress energy is when all 4 queens from the minor arcana are rolled into one person, and that person now is an Empress energy because they've learned through life experience. There's the odd person on the planet, very odd, that is born an Empress, but not many of us are. We have to earn it in the tarot. And I just want to point out also that the kings could be, and any of the male characters here could be, you know, a female in her masculine energy as well as a male in their masculine. And this could also be a male in his feminine. Then we have, look at that. That's so interesting, isn't it? So this card is, this is your partners and this is the energy that I feel like the King of Cups has met his Empress. And the reason why is because the King of Cups is letting go of all this bullshit, walked away from it, is ready to meet his soulmate because of it. And now he's meeting his Empress. And she has managed to raise to this energy. Like she's managed to get to this pre-Empress energy because she's gone through this herself. Quite often soulmates will go through a lot of the same, you know, oh, when I was a kid, that happened to me too. Oh, when I had my first lover, that happened to me too. Oh, I had that first business and that happened to me too. But it's like going through the same kind of energy, but in separation from each other. So that's why you understand each other so well. It's the soul's journey. Now the Empress is totally about being able to manifest. Like she's the generator of energy. She's like a magnet for manifestation. She plants the seeds of wheat and she doesn't worry about it. She waves her wand and says, okay, nature, take care of it. It's that kind of energy. And she is said to be pregnant with possibility, and sometimes this can even represent like she's pregnant. So it's someone that the king would want to have children with, basically. That's the energy saying here. And this is in transition. So after walking away, you're meeting someone that's a pre-Empress, but when the two of you get together, she becomes an Empress. Or it's saying that the king views her as his Empress. Then we have conviction beyond a doubt, the Seven of Wands. So this is talking about having sort of being straddling these two worlds here, and having to protect your energy and knowing without a doubt, with conviction beyond a doubt, this is what I want. This is exactly what I know what I want. And that's the energy coming in. And notice here that we have a boot on one foot and a shoe on the other. There we go. And then we have temptation. So this is talking about the energy of, this is your higher learning and education from what you've learned. And now this is the career and reputation. So I was picking up that this is some sort of this could be someone that's in the public eye, like a politician or whatever. Like, look at, if the same thing, like if, for instance, if you've been watching the news, if the same thing happened to an everyday average person that's happening to the former prince, that, it wouldn't be splashed all over. You might get, it might be in the news and it might be in social media for a couple days, but it wouldn't be like this huge thing that it's become. And because that's become so huge, it's going to affect everybody underneath that. And so it's that trickle down effect. And it was temptation, like, basically. And so the devil does represent temptation, and the devil is ruled by not Capricorn energy, but by Saturn, by the planet Saturn. And he's sitting there for 2.5 years with Neptune in this idealistic, poor Neptune is getting a rude awakening. Really, like, that's like, oh, hey, welcome to my world kind of energy. And they're both together in Mars, and they're both masculine energies. Like, oh, this could be like a lot. We haven't seen, I think we're just seeing, like, there's lots more going to be coming in. I really do feel that right now what we're experiencing in the news and the shifts that are happening in the planet are just starting to hit. And when the whole globe is like that, then of course it's going to really affect the individual person. So when the temptation comes in, like this is two lovers that are yoked to each other, and they're tied to Saturn's box, and they have, like, they could slip out of this, but they can't really, because they sold their soul to the devil. And so how like, they signed a contract and they have to fulfill it. And this is the energy of when God brings two people together, and this is the energy of when the devil brings two people together. Which would you rather be? It's like no contest, right? Well, this is lust and this is love. So I always cover the temptation devil card to see, because the devil can't do his own work. For one thing, the devil's an archetype in tarot. So the devil has to send in a minion to do his dirty work, or God covers it to make sure it doesn't happen. And here is the minion he sends in. He's sending in someone with misinformation and disinformation. That's a real thing in Canada. I'm laughing because I'm not going to get into it. But this, the biggest misinformation and disinformation that we had in Canada, really, in my opinion, over the last 5 years, was that the budget would be able to balance itself. Because we were told, oh, don't worry about the budget. The budget will balance itself. But, if you look up the definition, and I did, and it's posted on my channel, like, it's one of my posts, it's on there. But the definition of a budget, it's like a system that you put in place. And a budget can't actually balance itself, because it's a system that you put in place to use as a tool for the person that's in charge of the money to use to make sure that the budget is balanced. And so misinformation and disinformation at its absolute worst. Like, it's like, okay, especially at this time, because this is very impulsive energy. And we're talking about a lot of pentacles. Where did all the pentacles go? That's the kind of energy we're talking about here. And, we're not going to, like, this is the energy of the impulse, of the fiery horse energy that you do not want to be in. This is the energy of, like, taking an impulsive action, only having half the information, and then going off that information. And you can't, you can only see half his sword, and we can't see the point. So he's rushing in to deliver this information, and it's like a fool rushing in, because his horse is totally stressed. Look at his horse. And they're running as fast as they can. And it's like they're running through barren land, and they're running against the wind. And the information, sometimes this can really represent a fool rushing in kind of energy. to deliver, like to try and throw everybody off kind of energy. So, okay, we've got then, but then this is the energy of this new cycle beginning. Because what's happening now, like in this is like right now, there with the files that are out there, this information is very, you know, there's so many names being bandied about, and it's not right for people to be saying, oh, you know, everything's alleged. And it's not fair for people's names to be bandied about without any proof here. And there's a lot of that going on. But it is also talking about like it's going to put, I feel this is representing the whole planet here. This is in blessings coming in, actually. So this is really challenging energy for everybody. Like from the top all the way down to the bottom, because we're finding out, you know, a lot of information that is like really hard to accept, and it's also like not even 100% clear. A lot of it is redacted. So that's the kind of energy we're in right now. But we're on the journey of that, and we're going to find out the information as we go here. And it's talking about not jumping. Like, this is not a good time to jump to conclusions, to accuse people of things. Like, hold your judgment back until you know, like, that there's proof of what you're saying. Because at this time, the information is very scrambled in many ways. And then we have victory. And I feel like this is victory. Like, look at the difference in this horse to this one, you know? This is saying that if you don't get in this impulsive energy and being all like judging everybody and everything and the whole world is horrible and all that kind of energy, stay in a leadership role. And this is talking about reining in the emotions so that you don't go, you know, flying off and getting all upset and then, you know, la 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 la, and then finding out after that you were accusing someone of something that didn't really happen, and it was just gossip. That kind of energy. And so then this puts you in a leadership role. If you can do that, if you can rein in your emotions like the King of Cups here, then you're going to, and if your partner's in that energy, then you can really empower each other. This is victory. And I feel like this represents the energy for the world. And this is about the spiritual warfare, basically, that's going on. So this is really strong energy. It's really good energy, Leo, because Leos are born leaders when they're at their best. All right, so I'm going to clarify this. If you've enjoyed this reading up to this point and you're ready to get off, please do give it a like and comment. It does help me build my channel. I really appreciate it. And also, I'm going to clarify this now with my oracle. And this is something really interesting. When I was looking into this energy of these eclipses, one thing that came up is that in 2007, on March 3rd, we all had almost the identical astrological influences as right now. And so look back at that time. What were you doing? You know what I was doing? I was starting my oracle right around that time. I was so like, oh my goodness, I was just kind of shocked for a minute when I looked at that. So what was I doing? Oh yeah. I was working, that's when I started working on my oracle. And this is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And I've been working on it, I'm an artist, and so I was having a lot of fun with it. It's great big paintings, so it took me a while. There's crystals and dragons from the future. And it's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And I didn't even know what that was, but I was like, okay, I'll do it. It was just like I was using my imagination and just painting as I went. And I created this whole oracle of 64 paintings. And now I've had them out and about. I used to teach seminars, and I had them at my seminars, and I also had them out and about at psychic fairs, but I didn't have all the paintings done. Now all of them are done, and I'm getting ready now to put this out. But you may have noticed that when you put the information down on paper, it looks good, but when you put it into actual action, it's different. So that's why I want to work with it a little bit here to make sure I have the right words when I'm putting the information for this out. And we're going to use this now to clarify. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and I will, in the description box below, I will put the cards as they appear by number. And the numbers represent the paintings in the gallery on my website, and that's talesfromthevector.com, and it's TAILS. All right, here we go. Which cards are going? Oh, here we go. My cards are jumpy all the time. I always know they're going to... Okay, so we have falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So this is talking about you have to love yourself first and foremost enough to have, like, to raise your vibration, to be at this Empress energy for a King of Cups to want to have you for their partner and be willing to leave whatever situation they're in to do it. Because they recognize, hey, this is my soulmate. You have to have your masculine and your feminine energy very balanced, and that's what this represents. Both these people have both their masculine and feminine energy in balance, so they don't need each other. They just really enjoy each other. It's more that energy. Use your intuition. This is talking about to experience joy. Like, the problem here is overthinking, and that kind of energy can really crush your joy. So, and intuition is the best time to use your when there's a full moon and a new moon in particular, those are the, like, really good times, like, where you're really, really intuitive. The wheel of fortune is turning, so some synchronicities are taking place to move you into place here. And this is about how, if you have expectations, expectations will always create limitations. If you've noticed, like, sometimes, like, you're like, oh, one of these people didn't expect this to happen, and the other one anticipated that it probably would, and that's the difference. So this is talking about if you expect things to go your way and not the way of the divine plan, good luck. You're going to be on a foolish journey, and you're going to have a few of these tower moments, which is common for human beings. We're humans, so we're going to. But it's really interesting is there's judgment coming in with that. And you notice this is the same dragon, and she's a pink and green dragon, and she's falling upside down through the sky, saying falling and failing in love is a matter of I, and she represents the individual heart chakra. And this is representing judgment coming in from the spiritual realm, from the divine, from the Most High. And this is saying only God can really, truly judge other people, because we don't know what other people went through when they were little. We don't even know what we went through when we were little. So, you know, it's kind of like God withholds judgment for a long time and gives people a lot of opportunities to clean up their act, because God knows what a person has been through. And, you know, and that's that's about having like this is talking about the cosmic heart and being unfettered. Like, the judgment is coming through perfect order. And then we have abuse of power coming in here. So abuse of power is a karmic space that a lot of people can fall into. You know, power is, you know, if you've never had any power, like, and then all of a sudden you have power, you might really mess it up. You know, it's that kind of energy. And you think about, you know, all of the power that politicians have, you know, to move things around, but they only have so much. And if they abuse their power, eventually that does come out. It does come out whether or not something's done about it. Eventually the truth shines over the darkness, and it comes out. And this is, the judgment always comes from the spiritual realm. You know, spiritual court is in session. And when it's time, if like, okay, that's it, this has to change because it's gone too far and it needs to be brought back into contraction. God is a very orderly God, and it has to be, things have to be in perfect alignment. And so when we are expanding, things get messy on the extremes. But that energy has to be pulled back in, and that's, the universe is constantly contracting and then expanding and contracting, like that kind of energy. We have the denial. What I don't know won't hurt me. So yeah, it actually can hurt you what you don't know. But sometimes, a lot of the times, especially when it comes to matters of romance and love, we just don't want to believe it. So we just put our blinders on. We have the Magician. So this is an energetic upgrade. When you walk away from what's false, then it puts you in a position to be able to accept what is real. And this is the energy coming in from that. This is the Hermit. Yes, going inward. This is talking, the Hermit goes to the top of the mountain to isolate themselves and be able to get in touch with what the energy of God wants. What is God's plan? And then gets on, when they have the lantern full of the night star energy, or the North Star light, then they know, okay, this is what I need to do. They come down from the mountain and put that into action. We have and that's what is controlling. This is the energy, that's the external forces coming in. So this is like God's plan coming in. This is deception. Yeah, so in your past relationship, there was deception that was causing this, and that's why you walked away. Then we have the Cancer energy coming in. So this is the first sign coming in, and this is talking about endings and secrets coming out, etc. And look at, it's ruled by the moon. So Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so this energy is talking about how like this eclipse season right now, between the 17th and the energy of the 3rd of March, it's going to have a huge influence. Plus at that same time, Mercury is going in retrograde on the 26th of February until the 20th of March. So a really good time to look at the past, learn from it, and move on. And get, like, Virgo wants you to clean it up, so do so. This is talking about the shooting star energy. This is having a good attitude. A good attitude will take you. You can wish upon a star, but then you have to have a good attitude and put some of your own energy into it to have anything happen. Libra energy. So this is about becoming a mature adult. Libra represents justice because it's when the scales are weighed now and you understand better the give and take. You're a mature adult. You understand when you're making a commitment, a serious commitment with someone and saying, okay, I want to marry you and have children with you. What a huge responsibility that is, and you're ready for it. And this is sitting on, instead of going with this energy, using, being like responsible. And this is talking about, when you do that, then instead of having expectations of how things should go, you can anticipate going on a new journey, and all the blessings start coming in then. And it's also talking about letting go of attachments. So attachment is the #1 karmic space. This is like, as soon as, like, it's the mother of all the other karmic spaces, because when we become attached to something, that's when we'll abuse our power to keep it. And when we'll go into denial and, okay, we're not going to look at it properly because we don't want to know. So that's the energy here, and also letting go of anger. If you become attached to something and it's taken from you, it can make you really angry, and then that can be passed down from generation to generation. And anger is the gift that keeps on giving. It's not, a lot of people motivate themselves through anger, but it'll burn you out. It's that kind of energy. And with this new, like, energy that we're in with the fire horse energy, especially for the fire signs, Leo, it's really important, because if you, the fire signs already are fiery. So this is going to encourage that impulsive, like, let's give her energy. And so you don't want to burn yourself out by doing too much. You want to have that balance. And that's what this, I feel like, basically this eclipse energy is talking about that. If you want to know more about the fire horse energy, I have a playlist on my channel, and it has the fire horse energy, the new year, how it's going to affect. There's also some Valentine's Day readings for each sign, and I have I have a new moon, full moon playlist that's separate from these readings that I do at the beginning, the middle, and the end of the month. So check that out if you want to know more about the astrological information. But this was a really informative reading, and I think it has some really good solid advice for all of us, not just Leo. And remember, we all have a little bit of Leo in us somewhere. So please do give this a like and comment if you've enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of the channel. It would be my honor if you did so. I'll be back with the next reading and that one will be for the full moon eclipse coming up.